Recently, I've been feeling a bit overwhelmed by airdrops, particularly on Twitter, with mentions of Layer Zero and ZK Sync. And well, for now, we're coming out on the losing end, considering the current market sentiment in the crypto ecosystem. But there is a protocol that none of the crypto influencers are discussing. A massive protocol that gives out airdrops every single month valued at $40 million. $40 million, no kidding. All kidding aside, we both know what this is about. Darwinex ZERO's notional seed capital allocations. Let's examine them thoroughly. All the information you need. Pen and paper, disclaimer. And let's start, come on. Let's start with the basics. What are notional seed capital allocations? They are incentives that Darwinex ZERO distributes among signal providers with the ultimate and sole purpose of motivating personnel while they operate and build their long-term track record. And I want to emphasize this. Long-term. Darwinex's business model is intermediation between the signal provider and the investor. Meaning, it will charge a fixed commission of 5% to the investor for the positive results obtained by investing in the platform's different strategies, provided that the results are positive, as I said. Meanwhile, and also contingent on positive results, the signal provider will earn 15% of the profits generated from the invested capital. Put another way, everyone involved has perfectly aligned interests. Consequently, Darwinex is motivated, as I said, for users to build that long-term track record. Because the more experience they have and the better results they achieve with their trading, the higher the probability that an investor will notice the strategy and invest their capital, from which Darwinex will naturally take its slice of the pie. It's that simple. In summary, a third party invests €10,000 in strategy A. The signal provider, through their Darwin, which, remember, replicates that strategy at 6.5% monthly, manages to capture 4% the following month. The investor would get €400 profit, of which they keep 85%, meaning €340. The signal provider will earn 15% of the profit generated from that capital, which amounts to €60. And Darwinex, acting as the intermediary, gets 5% of that profit, which is €20. Everyone benefits. Okay, that's for the case of a real investor. But what about the notional seed capital allocations? In this case, that amount being allocated is not real money, it's notional. Meaning, the process would be as if that money were being invested in your Darwin, in your strategy, even though it's not real, with the promise that they will pay you 15% of the profits it would have generated if that capital had actually been invested. That 15% in success fees is real money that we will be able to withdraw from the platform. Regarding how these allocations are distributed, I'll tell you they are made as long as we are participating in the Darwinia Silver allocation program. In relation to the rating you achieve with your trading during the month. But I won't dwell on this because it's explained in detail up here, in the video I'm leaving for you on the right. However, many questions have come up regarding how our trading will function after receiving our initial capital allocations. Upon starting with Darwinex ZERO, we are provided with a virtual trading account containing $100,000. Suppose we receive our first allocation of €30,000. What happens to that €30,000? Do they remove the 100,000 we started with, leaving us with only the 30,000 in our MetaTrader account? No. Do they add those 30,000 to the 100,000 we already had in the MetaTrader account? No. We will continue trading with those initial $100,000 we started with. Dollar up, dollar down, depending on the profits or losses we have made in our Signal account, our MetaTrader account, where we do our trading. Those €30,000 will be virtually invested in our Darwin, as if it were a Mars investor. But I repeat, in the case of notional seed capital allocations, that investment will not be real. The only real aspect will be the 15% success fee earned from the profits generated by that investment of €30,000. With these points clarified, remember that by eliminating the €95 registration fee, we only pay €38 to register on Darwinex ZERO. And yes, absolutely, we still have a €20 discount for registration, so we'll only pay €18 the first month. I'm leaving you a direct link to the Darwinex ZERO registration page with the discount already applied in the video description and the pinned comment. With that said, let's move on to the most crucial part. The core of it, the money, the earnings. How and when do we get paid? The allocations, if we are in Darwinia Silver, are maintained for 3 months, and therefore we can accumulate up to a maximum of 3 allocations simultaneously. If we are in Darwinia Gold, they are maintained for 6 months, but obtaining them isn't based on rating, but solely on the profitability achieved in the current month, and consequently, we can accumulate a maximum of 6 allocations concurrently, regardless of the league we are participating in and how long that allocation is maintained. We will receive the success fees on a quarterly basis, starting from the date of our first allocation. In other words, from the moment you receive your first allocation, a payment schedule will be established that will always be maintained, regardless of whether you get more assignments or some months you get none. You have all of this explained in the video I'm leaving you here, but ever since I published it, Darwinex ZERO has been updating the platform and they added this amazing feature in the Payments and Assignments tab, right from the dashboard. A dashboard split into 3 clearly defined sections: the present, the future, and the past. In this first part of the panel, they indicate how much capital under management we currently have. The total PIG, which is the total profits and losses that the investor or Darwinex ZERO, in case you have secured capital assignments, has invested in your operation. And the high water mark, which as you know, was modified in our favor, resetting every time we no longer have active assignments under management. The second section of the panel shows us future estimates of the commissions we might earn. To the left, first, we have the estimated success fees for the next 3 months, meaning the amount we will earn once the quarter ends when it's time for us to withdraw. Further down, the average entry price in Darwinia, which indicates at what quote price each assignment entered. As you know, each Darwin has a quote price that always begins at 100. And as we obtain profitability, that quote increases in the same proportion as the profitability obtained. But since it may be the case that not all assignments are for the same amount, to calculate that 15% commission, a weighted average is calculated based on the quote price of each assignment's entry, meaning we will earn the commission value proportional to the size of each assignment received. A little further down, the collection date in your personal calendar, which is updated and directly indicates the date when it will be time to withdraw those success commissions you are generating, and on the right, a commission calculator that you can use to calculate the profitability you will need to earn more or less success commissions. And finally, at the bottom, in the third section of the panel, you'll see the success commissions that have already been generated and ready to be withdrawn. And with that said and done, watch this video. See you in the next.